The wood whistle is a plan that has been freely available on my website for a few years now. It's a quick, simple plan. Lets you make a basic whistle. Plan doesn't really say what to do at the end of it. You could round it any way you want. I guess I do have that shape here and a hole like I have on this one. But quick and easy plan. This one's out of cherry wood. May not be the best wood for putting in your mouth, but that's fine. This one's out of pine. It's a softer wood, a little more porous, so it's maybe not the best material for a whistle, but they both end up working. This one I'm going to use maple to make it. It's a nice hardwood, tight grain, so there won't be any air loss or anything like that. It's not as soft as this where you can't bite it and crush it so easily. So with my plans, for the most part, most of them, I just put the plan right on the wood, cut it out. Here it's a very simple plan, so you wouldn't really need to do that, but I'm going to in this case. My wood's a little thicker than it needs to be here, but it'll still work out fine. In this case, I get a lot of questions about what blades I use. For the most part, I use number 5s and number 2 blades. In this case, because it's going to be a long straight cut, I'm using actually some of these PGT blades or precision ground tooth blades. It's a number 5 blade as well, but they're a little better for doing long straight cuts. They are a little thicker, so you've got to be aware of that depending on what you're cutting out. Right. So this will be the basis for my whistle here. Now we're going to cut off the sides. So before we get too far, I'm going to just make a couple marks on here so that I can tell which side is which. Just do a line like, oops, well, like that's fine. Like that. You know, just something I'll be able to line it up later. I'll do even just something to make it easy so I can tell which side I'm gluing back on. They also typically only fit on each side, because if you do a little imperfection in it, that helps line things up too. So here's the sides cut off with the markings. I can just line them up. I know the top because the white paper's on it from my first cut. And I can just line them up later when I tape it all back, when I glue it back together. I'll know which side goes where. So before we go any further, I'm going to drill out my hole here. Then we're going to cut out the inside. I'm going to drill my hole out. I'll go with 1/8 for my size. I've already set my depth. I don't need to go all the way through. Just a little more than. Well, I'll go down that far. That's plenty good. All right. For the next part, I'm going to cut out the interior pattern. I'm going to just put it on the same way I put the top on, with a little tape and glue stick. Pattern on. Cut this guy out. Okay, in the case of this plan, it's a little this wood was thicker than I needed. So I'm going to glue this at the top, just like with my final plan, and I'll cut it down to size once it's all glued back together. Because I'm still using the precision ground tooth blade, it's a little thicker and harder to pivot. So I'm going to just make it a little wider, then I can pivot a little easier. Now for the cut, here I'm going to come in from the outside. That should give me a nice sharp edge. Then I'll come down from the top. A little fuzziness on the edge. I may try to clean that up right now with a fingernail file. Later on we can kind of go like this too. Not sure if it's real visible. There's also fuzziness on the wood as it comes out of there, out of the mouth part here. So we're gonna just do a little bit of this, just clear that up, because that disrupts the airflow. If you're a little sloppy when you cut out the inside, it doesn't matter. No one's ever going to see that. So you could curve that more, do whatever, as long as it fits in within the final profile. So, next step. We got our sides. We know which way is up because the stuff's on them, but look, wrong way, so we have to come around this way. We're going to glue these back on. Now, if this was a porous wood, I would seal the whole side, but you can test it by just kind of blowing or sucking on the side of the wood. If you can feel air coming through, you probably want to glue the whole side to just seal it a little bit. This one's pretty airtight, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Always double check one more time before you do the final gluing. Make sure your sides get them kind of laid out so you know where they are. We're almost done. We just have to glue our pattern on here, cut out our final shape. So once again, we'll do that with a little tape and a glue stick. Just line that up at the top. So that's the way our form is. I'll cut off the bottom. I think on this, I'm going to round things a little bit more here and here. I think I'm going to put a little taper on this, a little taper here. There it is. Just need to sand things up a bit to round the edges. We're good to go. Finished product. Just took a couple seconds to round the corners of the sander. As you notice, each time you make one, things tend to come out slightly different, but the whistle's pretty foolproof. The recorders / wooden flute plan, that's a little more difficult. But here, things are pretty forgiving. Nice big blast of air, makes a good whistle. Enjoy!